Welcome to the Golden Playbook. Today is the start of free agency. New teams are acquiring new players, and it has been crazy through just the first couple of hours. And we are going to jump into a DraftKings Best Ball draft amidst the chaos. Kenneth Walker signing with the Chiefs, Malik Willis signing with the Dolphins, and so much more. We're going to get into different players, different teams, where their new ADP should be, and all that. We are drafting out of the 10 slot. We are over on DraftKings, just doing a nice, easy $1 draft. If you yourself want to be drafting fantasy football teams here in March, go ahead and head on over to DraftKings. You can do it for as cheap as $1 with real cash prizes. But I'm going to be very interested to see where players are now going. This is my first draft since the beginning of free agency. Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs, I think obviously a home run landing spot for him. The Chiefs finally have a good quality running back. They don't have to keep wheeling out Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco. They get their guy. And I think Walker and Brashard Smith could be a nice 1-2 punch. I wouldn't leave it out that they could add someone through the draft, but that could go for any team at any position, obviously. Malik Willis to the Dolphins is kind of the first bigger quarterback domino to fall. I think that kind of lowers, Waddle's ceiling and some of the pass catchers, just because Malik Willis' passing volume isn't going to be that good. But I think the offensive environment might be a little bit better. I think Devon Achane's just going to be fine. He'll probably get plenty of dump downs and runs. So all things considered, I think Achane's a big winner for Willis. I think Waddle takes a little dive down for me. McCaffrey falls to 9. Let's see what our options. We can go ahead and grab Jonathan Taylor, just falling a couple spots there. I don't have a ton of JT, but we will go ahead and take him there. Just go ahead and sort by ADP there. And let's see. In front of us went Bijan, Gibbs, Puka, Jamar Chase, JSN, Amon-Ra, Genti, Lamb, McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor. And then after we went Taylor, Jefferson, Cook and Achane at the turn. Feels pretty solid there. And then we'll see what Hennon does here at pick 14. And B. Hennon goes Chase Brown. So we have our pick of guys. I kind of want to just pull up Kenneth Walker, the new found Chief. And so that's what we're going to do. We are going to pull up Kenneth Walker to the beginning of the second round. So we have a Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker start, the new Chiefs running back. I think that is a smash landing spot for him. Now they are probably not going to be drafting Jeremiah Love, which is, definitely a solid thing for the Chiefs. I think Jeremiah Love can find himself in a fantastic landing spot. Other guys just off the top of my head that I know have signed: Alec Pierce back with the Colts, and then in a contingent move, Michael Pittman Jr. traded to the Steelers. I think that is a plus for all parties there. I think Michael Pittman Jr. being a solid piece for the Steelers. If Rodgers is back, we know he likes to dump it down, and Michael Pittman Jr. works well in that short to intermediate range. I think he complements DK Metcalf pretty well. So I actually think Michael Pittman Jr. can come up the ranks a little bit. Alec Pierce gets paid a huge bag by Indianapolis, and, that usually means the player is going to be used. He's in a familiar offense, so I think Alec Pierce is probably pretty solid. I don't want to overhype him because I don't think he's like a crazy wide receiver talent, but the money does not lie when it comes to Alec Pierce. Isaiah Likely signs with the New York Giants, gets them a nice little 1-2 punch at tight end with Likely and Theo Johnson, reuniting with John Harbaugh, the former Ravens coach. Kenny Gainwell signs with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I think that dampens Bucky Irving a little bit just because they do have similar skill sets. You can already imagine Gainwell is going to be used on third downs at a minimum, probably other high leverage situations. But I think that kind of tampers down both guys. Gainwell is probably appropriately priced right now, but I think Bucky should be probably more of a 3-4 turn or even into the 4th round guy. I'll be pretty light on him if his price stays the same. As we see, McBride has been falling down. McBride is really, dependent on which quarterback it's going to be. If Brissett happens to be the starter, McBride should be, you know, the 1-2 turn guy. Now that it's not Malik Willis for sure, that helps. I think whoever they bring in will have more passing volume than a Malik Willis type. So definitely a plus for McBride, Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr. if they can keep, you know, a higher volume passing guy who's going to funnel those targets to those top receivers. Olamide Zaccheaus signs with the Falcons, who were in dire need of wide receiver help behind Drake London. So they get a nice little slot piece there. I don't think he's going to be super, super relevant in fantasy, but potentially worth a late round dart throw. As Bucky does go number 29 overall here, like I said, I think that is a little bit too early in my opinion. Like grabbing him over a guy like Chris Olave, I think is probably wrong. All right, we are one pick away here. We have Taylor and Walker. T. Higgins goes ahead of us. Let's see who's top of ADP. Kyron, Brees, ETN Jr. So our pick of the litter at running back here. Let's go ahead and take ETN Jr. and hope he lands in a sweet landing spot here in free agency. And then we will grab a wide receiver or perhaps even Colston Loveland if he is there on the way back around. But ETN Jr. is pretty much the other big free agent running back. It was Brees, who ended up getting tagged by the Jets, Kenneth Walker, who now signed with the Chiefs, and ETN Jr., who very well could stay with Jacksonville, but there is a decent chance he also leaves. I'd give it probably 50-50, 60-40 that he stays in Jacksonville at this point. But if Brees Hall does stay alive here, we might just go 4 stud running backs out the gate and then really probably need to only take 5 total running backs. So let's see what B. Hennon does here. And he does go Brees. So we will grab one of these wide receivers, either Wilson, Flowers, could pull up Luther Burden. I think we're gonna do. No, let's go ahead and grab Zay, off chance that Lamar makes it around to us in the next round. But even still, I like Zay Flowers. I think if he can just get some more touchdown luck going his way, I think he is a very, very solid player. And while we were making our first few picks, Tyler Algier is signing with the Cardinals, which I don't really love, considering they just restructured their contract with James Conner. So James Conner will be on the team, and Trey Benson is still on the team. So it's 3 guys who, in my opinion, have similar skill sets with Conner, Algier, and Trey Benson. Definitely don't love that for Tyler Algier. I thought he was gonna sign with someone like Seattle, where he could be like a 1A or 1B kind of guy. So I think that lowers my expectations for Tyler Algier just a little bit. As Waddle goes at the 4-5 turn there, and then Lamar off the board at pick 51. Definitely a long shot for him to make it to us at 58, but we were kind of a little bit hopeful there. Quinshon Judkins at 45, interesting. And that same drafter goes DJ Moore at 52, who was traded to the Buffalo Bills. All right, we are one pick away. Parker Washington going off the board there at 56. Let's see who's at the top of ADP. Burrow, Carnell Tate, David Montgomery up here. Let's go ahead. Let's see. I think we go ahead and grab rookie Tate. And then I think we're going to queue up Mike Evans, who has not signed, at least up to this second. If he's available at 63, people are expecting him to sign for a decent chunk of money. I know Mike Evans is getting older, but I think he's still got a little gas in the tank. When he was healthy last season, albeit it was rare with the hamstring and the shoulder injuries, Mike Evans looked like, old Mike Evans. So not like age old, but like vintage Mike Evans. So I think wherever he signs, I think it's going to be for a decent amount of money, and he's going to be a focal point. So we will hopefully grab him here at 63, unless B. Hennon grabs him. He does not. So we are going to grab Mr. Mike Evans, as RJ Harvey is a faller right now in drafts. all this chatter that Denver is going to add a running back. But every RB that signs that isn't to Denver is a little bit better for RJ Harvey. And earlier, we drafted Travis Etienne, who I said had probably a 50-50 chance of returning to Jacksonville, and he does not. He is signing with the New Orleans Saints, which is definitely an interesting move. I think he has similar skill sets to Alvin Kamara. Kamara obviously being older. So it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic turns out. But the New Orleans Saints have signed Travis Etienne Jr. I think that's very interesting. I think they have a lot of good things going in New Orleans. Shuck had some promise last year. Olave, Jawan Johnson. They need to sign some sort of a wide receiver too, or add in the draft. But they are kind of formulating a nice little offense down there with Kellen Moore at the helm, who is a very, very good play caller. The New Orleans Saints might be a little slept on team, and now we can target Tyler Shuck as a quarterback on the squad. A nice little Shuck to Etienne Jr. pairing that we would have had no idea was a good stack just an hour ago. So very interesting. We are 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers through 6. Taylor, Walker, Etienne Jr., grabbing all the free agents. Zay Flowers, Carnell Tate, and Mike Evans. Probably could look at a quarterback. If by some miracle Jalen Hurts is there at 82, I will easily scoop him up. He is one of my most drafted quarterbacks. His value has gone too far. The Jalen Hurts hate is too much. And Jalen Hurts off the board there at 74. And perhaps the worst kept secret of free agency, Wan'Dale Robinson officially signs with the Tennessee Titans. So they get a nice solid wide receiver who will work mostly out of the slot. A nice addition for Cam Ward heading into his second year. All indications leading up to free agency that was that Wan'Dale would sign there, and he go ahead and makes it official. We are just 2 hours into the tampering period now, and a lot of the rumors were true. Some things a little crazy. Walker to the Chiefs, Etienne to the Saints. Definitely a little bit surprising, at least to me, but very, very interesting. We are just a couple picks away here. We can go ahead and see what the top of ADP is looking like. We could grab newly signed Alec Pierce. We kind of need a little bit of quarterback play here. We could grab Lawrence and then see if Myers is there. Let's go ahead and grab Trevor Lawrence. Not to stack with Etienne Jr. because he is no longer a Jacksonville Jaguar. But nobody to the right of me has any Jags, so hopefully they don't just add Jacoby Myers. I know he's a fine wide receiver. If anyone will do it, it'll be this guy, Hillbilly. He goes ahead and grabs the Titans' new potential number 1 wide receiver in Wan'Dale Robinson. But we need to survive 2 picks to get Jacoby Myers, have a little Jacksonville stack here in the 7th, 8th round. If not, we will have to go to a plan B. He goes Quentin Johnston, and then Jackson Dart off the board. Jordan Tyson has definitely been a faller in these drafts, but we are going to go ahead and grab Jacoby Myers to pair up with Trevor Lawrence. And we have a nice little 1-3-4 building here. I like our start. I'm really tempted to go after Shuck here in the next couple rounds. Hopefully we don't get sniped by the Olave drafter in either the 8th or 9th round, which seems very expensive for Shuck, but as we know, quarterbacks have been flying off the board. All right, we are about midway through the 9th round. Mahomes goes at the 8-9 turn, who I realized we could have paired up with Kenneth Walker. That would have been an interesting one. Also, more Chiefs news. Travis Kelce has basically said that he is going to return to the Chiefs for his 14th season this year. Other news, Falcons still continuing to refuse to sign anyone real at wide receiver. They've already added Olamide Zaccheaus. They have now added Jahan Dotson. So they're just kind of adding some mid to low tier guys behind Drake London, which is pretty bullish for London. That means they just want him to be their absolute alpha dog wide receiver. We just need to see if Penix is the quarterback that can get it done for Drake London. All right, we are one pick away, and the QB frenzy continuing in these middle rounds here. Chuba Hubbard is top of ADP, although Michael Pittman Jr., the new Pittsburgh Steeler, might be a solid addition to this team as Algier goes ahead of us. I think, although we do need a tight end, Sam Laporta is a nice little value. See what the people to my right, 1 and 0 tight ends. So let's just take our medicine, grab Sam Laporta, even though I'm not crazy about it. And then we can grab Chuba or Pittman Jr. in the next round here. I don't love Laporta. I think the back injury isn't nothing as Chuba goes right after us. But we needed a tight end. And if he's healthy, it is Sam Laporta in the 9th round. Last year, I think we were paying, a 5th or 6th round price tag on him. So, it's not my favorite pick on the board per se, but we did need a tight end. We grab Sam Laporta. And if Michael Pittman Jr., the new Pittsburgh Steeler, is there, we are going to snag him. And we have the all free agency team on full effect here. We could grab Pollard, but let's go ahead and grab Michael Pittman Jr. We now have 1 quarterback, 3 running backs, 5 wide receivers, and a tight end. Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, Travis Etienne Jr., Zay Flowers, Carnell Tate, Mike Evans, Trevor Lawrence, Jacoby Myers, Sam Laporta, and Michael Pittman Jr. Malik Willis there at pick 112. This drafter has no Dolphins things going, but good to see where Malik Willis's value. He is definitely going to be a starter with how much money he got. Through the 10th round, and new Tampa Bay Buccaneer Kenny Gainwell really didn't change in value, at least in this draft, going at 119. Juwan Jennings, who I still think is a good value, is one of the bigger free agent wide receivers left to sign. He went at pick 116. Romeo Doubs is also a free agent set to make a good chunk of money. Could be an interesting pick to grab him now before his ADP shoots up with whatever team he signs with. We have 3 stud running backs, so that is kind of a luxury. We don't have to go running back here. Probably should look at grabbing QB2, although I know that is getting pretty slim already. So we are 6 picks away. We'll see how the board is shaking up when we are up. All right, we are 2 picks up away. We got Sam Darnold, Matthew Golden ahead of us. And then Jonah Coleman. We need to go ahead and take a look. Diggs, top of ADP. Benson, who I'm not really hip to right now. Quarterback is, and Dubs goes right before us. That's a great pick by that guy. We need a quarterback in a bad way. Mendoza, Stroud. I think we just grabbed Stroud here. We need quarterback too bad. And then let's see, Brenton Strange goes. That would have been nice to add to the Jacksonville stack. Let's see. I can't believe Dubs went right ahead of us. That was a great pick by Risky 101 there. But we go Stroud. We are back 1 pick up. I don't understand why Diggs is getting the hate. I know he got released, but that just means he could find a very solid situation. I almost want to double tap quarterback, grab Mendoza, and just be done there. In fact, I think that's what we're going to do. We're just going to double tap QB, grab Fernando Mendoza. So we have Lawrence, Stroud, and Mendoza as our quarterbacks. I feel a little bit better about that. Was getting a little hairy just with all these guys going in rounds 8, 9, 10. So grabbing our guys, now we have 3 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 5 receivers, and a tight end. This very could well be a 4 tight end team the way it is shaping up. But we'll see where Mike Washington Jr. goes. He was the big riser of the combine, so we'll see where he ends up. If he is somehow on the board at 154, that would be a smash pick. Kelsey, the news of him returning, only brought him up to 138 in this draft, so maybe not everyone is aware quite yet. And Mike Washington off the board here at 147. I knew it was a long shot. Him making it back around. Most recent signing, Jalen Naylor signing a 3-year, $35 million contract with the Raiders, which is very good for us to know, considering we just grabbed Mendoza. We can probably grab a 19th or 20th round Jalen Naylor. And that's not nothing money. Like, that is the amount of money that's going to be a solid, wide receiver 2 of your offense. So I think Jalen Naylor is going to be a great wide receiver addition to this team in the later rounds. So that means we can really focus RB or tight end with this next couple of picks. I don't know what range we're in. We are 3 picks away. Boston, Debo go here. Let's go. We're to the Kamara, James Conner range of running back, which I know both teams just signed, Etienne Jr. and Tyler Algier. But you can not go wrong with the veterans there. We could think about Tyjae Spears. Mark Andrews is available. And I still don't understand the Mark Andrews price. I think he's definitely too cheap. Let's see. We are on the clock. Let's go ahead and grab Andrews. I think he's still cheap. I like him to be an early guy if Laporta's back isn't quite in order right away. And then I don't hate the idea of actually grabbing Kamara. I know, you probably don't want to grab both New Orleans running backs because the chances that they both smash are very low. But I think they could ping pong weeks. I see both of them being valuable, and this still doesn't rule out the chance Kamara plays for a different team. So let's go ahead and grab Alvin Kamara. Some might disagree to grab both New Orleans running backs. It's probably not a great strategy, but I think they can both be of value to us. And I'll be interested to see if Isaiah Likely's price rises. I was tempted to grab him there at 159, but only having 3 running backs is a little scary, even though they were with our first 3 picks. If Likely is back around to us in the 15th round, I will definitely be hip to grabbing Likely because he got paid a decent chunk of money, which, again, evidence that they're going to be a decent part of the offense. So, and I think Likely is a solid receiving threat. So if Likely is there in the 15th, I'll be very, very much eyeing him there. Through the 14th round, Likely does go there at pick 166. Connor off the board at 164. And to see Algier's price at 105 versus Connor at 164, I think those are definitely going to narrow up a little bit, which probably means Algier should fall down the rankings a little, unfortunately. But I don't think the discrepancy between Algier and Connor's price should be 5 rounds. That definitely feels bad if you're the Algier guy, because James Conner isn't going to have no role, obviously. I know he got his contract restructured, so he'll probably be less involved as he normally has been, and he's 31 years old. But that price discrepancy is probably not good if you're the Algier drafter. All right, we are 2 picks away. A little frustrating. Schultz goes off at 175, and then Dell. 2 Houston guys we could have added to what we have going on here. We are 1 pick away. We could grab Njoku, who is a free agent. Like I said, we are building the all-free agency squad. We could grab Stowers, who's been rising up the ranks. Dylan Sampson at running back. Running back has kind of gotten a little bit ugly as Sampson goes off there. Yeah, not loving what running back has to offer. I think we'll just go ahead and grab Njoku, who is set to be a free agent. Not going to re-sign with Cleveland, he said, so hopefully he goes to a team that needs his services. But we have quite a veteran tight end room here. 3-4-5-3 build going. So we can really go in a number of directions. Definitely done at quarterback, but probably come back to wide receiver. I think Jalen Naylor is still a solid plan for later, but we'll probably want at least one more guy besides Naylor. do like Trey Harris a little. I still think Adonai Mitchell's a solid pick. We could just grab Stowers and have our 4th tight end already. Running back is in a bad place. Adonai Mitchell goes ahead of us. So we're just getting sniped all over the place. Let's see. Let's just grab Eli Stowers. I said we were probably going to do 4 tight ends. I didn't think it'd be this early, but there's nothing there in the running back wide receiver range that I think is a super value. I think the tiers are super flat at this point. So might as well grab a guy who has very high upside as a receiving threat in the NFL. If he gets good draft capital, second round to a team that needs him, like if he gets drafted to the Bengals or something, I think he's going to be a smash pick and probably rise up the rankings. Now we definitely need to pour on some running back and receiver. We have the luxury of the studs at the top for running back, but we need to pour on some more points in a big way. All right, we are a few picks away. As you can see, even more running backs are flying off the board, so we definitely need to find some guys that we can do something with. It is getting down to a little bit of a dire group of running backs, but I have an idea. It's going to be a crazy idea, but I do have an idea for one of our running backs. And if I'm not mistaken, Tank Bigsby is still on the board, who is a fantastic handcuff to Saquon Barkley. So if he survives this next pick, that'll be our next guy, as JJ McCarthy has definitely gone down. So Surratt goes last. So we are going to take Mr. Tank Bigsby here. And then my next idea can probably even wait until the 19th round. So we might try a little stab at a rookie wide receiver next. Maybe a Chris Brazzell or someone of that variety. Geno Smith has been getting drafted a lot more in these. He's looking like he's going to be at least a starter for some time or some team next year. Whether it's a reunion with the New York Jets or someone of that variety, looks like Geno is going to play, considering Las Vegas did grant him the release, so he is not going to have to be stuck in Vegas behind Fernando Mendoza. Kupp goes there, Keenan Allen, so Hillbilly going with a couple of the vets. We are going to grab a little rookie with some upside. Let's see what we got here. Honestly, Ayumanner's not a bad pick. But we're going to grab, let's go Chris Brazzell. And then for my last 2 picks, we are going to play a fun little game here. We're going to queue up LaQuint Allen, who now has no Travis Etienne, and we already have some Jacksonville stuff going on. And then we got to queue up Jalen Naylor so we don't forget about Jalen Naylor. Hopefully Naylor makes it around. I see he has an ADP of 225. So that is, we pick at 226. And Naylor goes. So that was probably a mistake. Probably should have grabbed Naylor where Brazzell went. I didn't realize people would be so hip to that. So that is definitely a mistake. But that's all right. We can go ahead. We can find some wide receivers. I still think Mims is fine. Ayumanner's fine. I think Branch, if we need to go the rookie route. Let's see. I think Antonio Williams could be fun. We could do a little Jalen Noel in Houston action. So we have options. It's not do or die, but that would have been fun there. That was definitely user error, if you will. We have the 3-5-6-4 building. 2 more picks to go. We are in the middle of free agency. Doesn't really get better than this unless it is actual football season. But this is March, baby. We are drafting teams. March Madness is right around the corner if you are a college basketball fan. Admittedly, I have really been slacking on watching the college basketball this year, but I'm definitely excited for March Madness, filling out a bracket, all of that fun stuff. Comment down below, who is your pick to win the national championship? I bet my money's on Duke, but probably biased just because my dad's a Duke fan. But drop down in the comments, who is your favorite to win the national championship? And as this draft is winding down, we just got word Mike Evans is signing with the San Francisco 49ers, which absolutely booms his stock up. We got him here at pick 63 with that signing. He's probably more of a 4 or 5 turn guy in my opinion. Absolutely crazy stuff. That is like probably an ideal landing spot for Mike Evans. He can be the wide receiver 1. Once Kittle's back, Ricky Pearsall definitely brings his value down because Pearsall and Mike Evans are both, similar X receiver builds. Maybe this helps Pearsall take a little pressure off of him, but definitely a great landing spot if you are a Mike Evans drafter, which we happen to be in this draft. Mims goes, Kyle Williams goes. So let's go ahead and not mess around. Let's go ahead and grab LaQuint Allen, who we for sure want. And then we need one of these wide receivers here. We could go Keon Coleman and just hope that the Bills don't address wide receiver any further than DJ Moore. We could do Noel. We could do Antonio Williams. Let's see, what do we have? We have Flowers, Tate, Evans, Myers, Michael Pittman. We have plenty of safe guys, so I think we'll go take a little shot on rookie Antonio Williams, who I expect to get decent draft capital. All depends on landing spot, of course, but our final team here before we get out of here is Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker III, Travis Etienne Jr., Zay Flowers, Carnell Tate, Mike Evans, the new 49er, Trevor Lawrence with Jacoby Myers, Sam Laporta, Michael Pittman Jr., CJ Stroud, Fernando Mendoza, Mark Andrews, Alvin Kamara, David Njoku, Eli Stowers, Tank Bigsby, Chris Brazel, LaQuint Allen Jr., and Antonio Williams. If you made it this far into the video, please smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. Help keep growing this channel. We are having a lot of fun, so help us out. Smash the like button as well. Like I said, comment who you think is going to win the national championship and comment your favorite signing so far. I think Mike Evans to the 49ers is super, super bullish for him, for Purdy, for the entire offense, except for Ricky P. But that'll do it for today's video. Thanks for hanging out with me. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.